Ground ball into right field for a base hit. Brujan rounds third. Throw home. It's late. Cubs win.
From MLB.com, this is the Morning Lineup Podcast. I'm your host, Matt Monaghan. Today is Wednesday, April 23rd, and Wrigley Field has been around for 111 years, and I'm not sure there's been too many games like last night's epic Cubs-Dodgers contest. And the Mets, look at the Mets. They can't stop winning ball games, but neither can the Padres. Oh, and how about a game-ending diving catch in the outfield by Byron Buxton? That's got to make everyone happy. Let's get to it. Shota Imanaga versus Dustin May. The Cubs-Dodgers game at Wrigley Field on Tuesday was set to be a tight-knit, low-scoring pitcher's duel. But then, home run legend Tommy Edman stepped up to the plate in the top of the first with two men on.
It's this ball hard, deep center field, PCA back, Tommy Edman owns the Cubs!
That's 8 on the year for Tommy Edman, who hit 13 all of 2024. The Cubs battled right back with 3 more in the bottom of the first, helped by a Dansby Swanson triple. And that's kind of how this back-and-forth epic slugfest went. The Dodgers took the lead in the second by 1. The Cubs were up 7-4 after the 5th, thanks to Pete Crow Armstrong's very strong home run. The Dodgers scored 6 in the 6th and 7th innings, helped by a Will Smith homer and a Will Smith double. He had 2 hits and 2 runs batted in on the day. And that seemed like that could do it. But the north side would not fall. Kyle Tucker, the home run chucker, hit a 2-run bomb, hit 7th in the 8th to get within 1. And then, down to their last out, with Wrigley fans clutching their beer snakes, Miguel Amaya brought the Cubs all the way back and sent the game to extras.
Amaya into center field. Edmonds back at the wall. Jumps up, it's into the basket!
Ian Happ's single in the bottom of the 10th to get the Cubs the improbable 11-10 victory. By the way, this is game 1 of the 3-game set this week. I don't know if we can handle 2 more games like this. It's only April. Manager Craig Counsell talked about his team's resilience post-game.
I mean, it's a fun team to watch play. I mean, that's what I tell you, is come out to the park and watch the team play, because it's, this homestand, they've done some amazing things and some resilient things.
Former Mets manager Casey Stengel once said, quote, "The Mets have shown me more ways to lose than I even knew existed." Well, this year, things have been almost the polar opposite. Polar bear opposite? Than those teams Stengel once coached in the 1960s. After winning 6 in a row already this month, the Mets went into their game versus the Phillies on Tuesday trying to win 6 in a row again this month. And once again, everything was clicking for the team from Queens. Griffin Canning, who was statistically one of the worst starters in baseball last year, sorry Griffin, continued his strong start to 2025. He went 5 innings, giving up just a run with 5 strikeouts.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. 5 strikeouts for Canning.
Francisco Lindor, amid MVP chants and swaying My Girl choruses, continued his torrid stretch with 3 hits, getting his batting average up over 300 on the year. Pete Alonso was 2 for 4 with a double and an RBI to get his 25th run batted in of the season, tied for the MLB lead. But those weren't the guys who came through with the bases loaded and the Mets up 3-1 in the 8th. Have you heard of Luis Torrens? Turn up that volume for some Luis Torrens.
And he lines one into left field for a base hit. Luis Torrens comes through, drives in a pair.
The Mets won 5-1 and are now 17-7. Distancing themselves from the Phillies and the rest of the NL East in first place. They're getting timely hits from their offensive stars, and their starters' ERA, with a couple of their top starters out, is the best in the majors at a measly 2.29. That's a full run better than any other team in the National League. And at home, in their first 12 starts, Mets stars have a 1.75 ERA and 76 strikeouts in 61 2/3 innings. They've yet to even allow a home run. We can only hope, somewhere, maybe in some abandoned ball pit, drinking his purple milkshakes, Grimace is watching and smiling. Speaking of 17-7 and first place in an NL division and really good pitching, how about those Padres? We'll get into their win after the break. Who's the best pitcher in the NL this year? Zach Wheeler? Not this season. Max Fried? Hello, he's in the AL now. Nolan Ryan? No, he retired 32 years ago. It very well could be Padres' newly signed starter Nick Pivetta. Pivetta was 3-1 with a 1.57 ERA in 13 straight scoreless innings heading into San Diego's game against the Tigers on Tuesday. And Pivetta, like my 2019 VW Jetta, just kept on rolling along.
Pivetta with strike 3, and that's 6 strikeouts.
Pivetta gave up just 2 hits while striking out 6 over 7 scoreless innings in the 2-0 win over the Tigers. He's now 4-1 with a 1.20 ERA on the young season. He's currently 3rd in the NL in ERA, 1st in wins, whip, and opposing batting average against. He's also now at 20 consecutive scoreless innings. A breakout season for Pivetta, a former Nats and Phillies top prospect almost a decade ago, is just another cog in what seems like an embarrassment of riches for the Padres. The NL West leaders are now 17-7, second in all baseball in pitcher ERA at 2.77, and their 7 shutouts through their first 24 games has only been done by 6 other teams in MLB history. And, well, they kind of have to keep up their winning ways because the Dodgers, the Giants, and even the D-backs aren't losing much either. Elsewhere around the league, the Twins were up 4-2 on the White Sox in the 9th inning with 2 outs, but Chicago was threatening with 2 runners on. Andrew Benintendi hit a line drive gapper into right center field, destined to tie up the game at 4. But you know who's in center field for the Twins, right?
The 2-2. In the air to right center field. Buxton on the move to his left. Buxton will dive! And he caught the ball!
Byron Buxton saved the day with an incredible, game-ending diving catch. Something that should make everyone happy to see from the often injured Gold Glover to give Minnesota a much-needed victory. Dylan Cruz homered for the 3rd time in 4 games. James Wood had 3 hits and 2 runs, and the Nats shut out the Orioles 7-0 on Tuesday night. Baltimore starter Dean Kramer allowed 8 extra base hits, the most allowed by an Orioles pitcher since the club moved to Baltimore in 1954. The Guardians took down the Yankees for the 2nd straight day, and will look for the sweep later today. Tanner Bybee gave up just 2 runs over 6 innings in the 3-2 win, while Stephen Kwan added 2 hits and a run. Aaron Judge did go 4 for 4 with a double and 3 singles in the loss, upping his average to a solid .411 on the year. After being tied 4-4 headed into the 8th, the Cardinals exploded for 3 in the 8th and 3 more in the 9th to beat the Braves 10-4 on Tuesday. Victor Scott had 3 hits and 3 runs scored, and Nolan Stormin Gorman had a big 3-run double to break things open in the victory. The red-hot Alex Bregman had 2 hits and 3 RBIs, and Willie Abreu had 3 more hits as the Red Sox took down the Mariners 8-3. Ryan Bello gave up just a run and 4 hits for the win in his belated season debut. The Astros scored 4 runs off 2025 ace starter Chris Bassett, took down the Astros 5-1. Ronel Blanco pitched 2 hits, 6-inning gem after struggling to a slow start this season. For any other scores and highlights from Tuesday, head on over to MLB.com. That's all for today's morning lineup. Mandy Bell will be on tomorrow to fill you in all the things baseball from Wednesday. Also, MLB Network has a couple of doozies tomorrow for you. The Phillies and Mets will square off at 1:10 p.m. Eastern, followed by a nightcap of the Dodgers at the Cubs. Yes, they're back again and hungry for more runs. And please don't forget to leave us a rating and review, share this podcast with the baseball lovers in your life, and enjoy all the baseball today.